Thank you, David. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a macro here on the Stream Deck, and instead of switching to the opening scene with the macro, I used the auto button on the ATEM 2ME and didn't even realize the macro on the HyperDeck turns the audio on. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. You caught that right away. So speaking of audio, how does the audio sound? Can you guys hear me? Is it loud enough? Is it not loud enough? In relationship to the opening music, I was trying to adjust it a little bit. Because I know when I first started using this music, a couple people made comments that the music was quite a bit louder, hotter than the actual studio microphone. So let me know what you think. Let's see. Let's go over to the comments and welcome a few people here. Like I said, I see about 5 people, but I only see 2 people in the comments, and that would be Jeremy from the Practical IT channel. Welcome, Jeremy. And Jeremy was curious, and yes, he was first today, so congratulations on getting the first row. As far as what's in the box, well, we're going to find out in the stream. I'm curious as well. I haven't opened it. It's all sealed, so we're going to do that together. I did drop a hint, though. Welcome, Grish. Jeremy says it sounds good. Grish says it sounded good, I guess referring to the balance between the opening music and the studio microphone. One thing I'm going to try to do in this stream, and it's just a personal thing, I'm going to try not to touch the microphone as much. The last couple of streams that I've actually kind of watched back, I noticed that I do this a lot. Like I adjust these knobs. It's not really going anywhere, and I have a tendency to, it's just habitual. It's not really adjusting the microphone at all. I don't know why I do that. So I'm going to try to refrain from doing that this stream. We'll see what happens. But now we got 6 people here, 3 likes, so thank you very much. Yes, please do hit the like button. Much appreciated. So, yeah, so like I said, welcome to another Saturday afternoon stream. Hopefully we'll stream for about an hour today. That seems to be my sweet spot, although I have a feeling maybe it'll go a little longer. It all depends. I knew Memorial Day weekend I wasn't going to stream because we had relatives in from Florida. We did a bunch of cool stuff for the holiday weekend, even though the weather wasn't all that cooperative here in North Carolina. And then last week, I'm not sure why I didn't stream, to be honest, but we're back today. So happy to see everybody, happy to hang out. We're up to 7 people here, 4 likes, so super. Thank you all very much. Leave some comments, leave some thoughts in the chat as to how things look, how things sound. Speaking of how things look and how things sound, before we get to the box and what's in the box, a couple of things I want your opinion on, if you would be so kind. So this is the typical lighting when I do a live stream, and a lot of times you guys say the lighting always looks pretty decent. TVJ comments a lot that he thinks my lighting is zeroed in, but always looking to make adjustments. So that said, 2 things I want to get some opinions on with the lighting. One is, if you notice over here to my side, I have a strip of LED lights lighting up underneath the sound panels. I currently have them set to blue. Try to blend in and match what's behind me on the wall. But I was thinking about breaking that up a little bit, and then in the back corner there behind the PTZ camera, there's also, I have a light on the floor. It's just a, let me see if I can get around to it with the PTZ. Hold on, let me switch over to that. So if I move around the PTZ to that corner, Let's go the other way. There's a light on the floor right next to the outlet. It's just a regular white Philips Smart Hue bulb. So I want to maybe try to light up that back corner there a little bit without impacting the color lights on the wall. So a couple of things I want to try. And I'd like your opinion on. So first, that would be changing this light strip color to this color here. And let me know what you think of that. And then maybe adding in some of that Philips Hue on the back. I'm going to slowly bring it up until I start to see a difference. You should look behind the PTZ cam. You should start to see it illuminating a little bit. I just don't want it to change the color temperature. That's about 57% there. Just to give you an idea, this is full. And you can see what it does to the highlight color on the wall. So if I drop it down, I'm at around 75 now. And now I'm roughly around 55%. I thought maybe to go with this for the live stream, but I'm not sure. Or go back to the blue with the Philips Hue light on in the back, or just leave the Philips Hue light completely off like so. So thoughts, please, comments on that. What are your thoughts from what you saw on the screen just a few minutes ago? Would be curious. And in the meantime, go back to the comments. And Jeremy said, caught Tom Lawrence video this morning. He showed off Nettler X. It dawned on me afterwards that it's a fork of Pi Alert. Interesting. I did not see that video. So maybe I'll give that a catch later today or tomorrow. So that's about it. We got 7 people here, so welcome. Thoughts on the lighting, if you guys were paying attention. I'll give you a few minutes there. Okay, no thoughts on the lighting, so we're just going to leave it as is. We have 8 people here now. Welcome. Please say hello in the chat. 8 people here, 5 likes. Good to be back on a Saturday afternoon. What have I been up to? Well, kind of been up to a lot the last month or so. I have been spending a lot of time flying my drone. I do have my Part 107 FAA license, and I've been wanting to break back into the real estate video photography and drone video and photography business. And so I went out and I purchased, for a business purpose, I purchased this. I'll bring it up on the screen and then I'll show you. Where is it? Okay. So I did recently purchase this last month. The DJI Mavic 3 Pro Fly More Combo. I didn't spend $3,889. I got a different controller, so it wasn't quite that much. But I've been doing lots of flying. It's got 3 cameras. It's got a 1-time zoom on the bottom. It's got a 3-time zoom and a 7-time zoom. It's a 4x3 CMOS Hasselblad camera. Awesome drone. Now, I did have a Mavic Air 2 that I started to learn to fly with a couple of years ago, and I wanted to upgrade before, especially with everything that's going on in the world with all the talk of banning the DJI drones because the government thinks the intent is that they're spying on us and sending information back to China. So I did want to get an updated drone before, just in case that ban goes through. And so that's what I ended up purchasing. And I've been doing a lot of flying, working on different maneuvers with the controller, with the joysticks, and taking photos, taking videos. So it's been a lot of fun. There are a couple of builders that I work with as far as when I do the networking projects that kind of have a foot in the door where I can get some construction monitoring jobs and things like that, videos of the finished products or models. So I'm hoping to break in, but I got to brush up on my skills. I did the real estate photography about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, just the still images with interior photos. When my wife was still selling new homes for a builder, I did all her multiple listing photos, but I wasn't flying the drone. I was just getting into flying the drone back then, so I didn't do any of the outdoor photography or outdoor video. So aside from flying the drone, I've been obviously working on some of my editing skills. I'll just show you where I've been spending. I'm not going to dwell on this because this is not what the stream is supposed to be about, but I've been working on my editing skills. Now, these are all outdoor drone photos, or at least the one sample that I'm going to show you. Come on. There we go. All right, so okay, so let me bring this up here if I can. Not that, wrong one. Where'd it go? There we go. All right, so let me bring this up on the screen. There we go, Super Source. I've been working a lot in Lightroom and Photoshop. So, for example, this shot here, it's one of 5 bracketed shots, and this was taken with the drone low to the ground because I wanted to get this angle. Here's another one of that same shot. You can see it's darker intentionally because I took 5 bracketed photos, meaning the drone's taking the same image at different exposures. Here's one even darker, and then here's one brighter. And then the final product, after being edited in here in Lightroom and in Photoshop, the final product comes out looking like this. So you can see it's, you know, working on the clarity, the saturation, the presence. I did a sky replacement because you could see in the original photos that the sky was quite dreary. So this is what I've been spending a lot of my time on, and then also capturing some video footage and editing the video footage as well. So just wanted to take a moment to share probably why I didn't stream last week, because I've been very much into getting outside on the nice days and putting the drone up in the air. So that's kind of what I've been up to. Let's go on and see what else is going on here. Jeremy says, I like the lighting, keep it a little low for the accents. So when you say you like the lighting, Jeremy, you like the blue and blue with no white light in the back, or you liked it with the blue and the white light low in the back? Or did you like it with the green over here, blue behind me, and white low in the back? Curious. And we have Joe here. Welcome, Joe, Tech for Fun, or as I should say, Joe Cephas. Although that doesn't have the same effect as the Rodecaster voice effects. Welcome, Joe. Hope you had a good day, good week, and I know you had a big job on Wednesday, and I think that went well by what you shared in our group chat. So anyway. Grish says, I realize it's the afternoon there. Still 10 a.m. here. Gotcha. And Jeremy saying blue, blue, and low white. All right, so we'll leave it blue, blue. Let's go get the low white on. Let's bring the low white on right about there. That's about 55%. Might as well be a voice actor. That was good. Well, yeah, thanks, Grish. I don't know. I do watch Jeremy's streams. I might not catch all of them. I'm doing it again. I might not catch all of them live, but I do watch them afterwards, and I've heard it. So I'm, anyway, whatever. See what I mean? I went and I grabbed, but this time I caught myself. So I'm trying to be better about that. So let's see. We have 6 people here, 6 likes. So okay, I'll take that. So that's pretty much what's been going on here. I did get, before we get to the what's in the box, I did get something new for me this week. A pair of new glasses, progressive lens. So I have distance, mid-range, computer distance, and then reading, all in the same pair of glasses. No lines, like it's not like bifocals or trifocals. I'm having a hard time. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not wearing them now. I just got them Thursday. I wore them all Thursday, all Friday. I finally drove with them yesterday for the first time because I'm starting to get used to the depth perception. I'm not having an issue with the distance or adjusting to the reading. What I'm having a problem with right now, or not a problem, but I'm not adjusted yet to the computer distance, because I was hoping to wear them in the stream so I didn't have to flip-flop glasses sometimes the way I do. However, I just couldn't zero in on that mid-range. So it kind of everything looked fuzzy to me because the distance, the computer's too close. Anyway, they say it takes about 2 to 3 weeks, so I'm hoping. I did try not bifocals, progressives about 20 years ago, and after 3 days I gave them back because I felt like I was living in a fishbowl. But these, for some reason, I guess like everything else, the technology has come a long way, and I'm pretty much able to adjust pretty quickly to everything except that mid-range. So I'm going to keep working on them for the next couple of weeks and go from there. Eventually, Joe, there'll be no glasses switching. For right now, I'm just wearing my regular reading glasses, and for whatever reason, everything is in focus, the computer distance, everything. So I don't know that I'll be doing any switching in this stream. Jeremy says, I love my progressives with transitions for outdoor use. Yeah, so I got the progressives. Primarily, I'll probably just wear them indoors. And for outdoors, well, I have 2 different sets of glasses for outdoors. I have my Wiley X safety riding glasses when I do the Harley rides, when I'm on the motorcycle. Those are just the distance prescription, and I did get those with transitions so that they act as sunglasses for me while I'm riding. And then as far as when I'm just kind of walking around downtown or we're out and about, I have Ray-Ban sunglasses, which I also got with just the distance only. So very rare that I find myself in an outdoor situation where I need my reading. So primarily that's how I kind of configured everything. So put the screen across the room. Well, it's with this desk that I have here. This is a 36-inch desk from depth-wise, and I would say the screen is probably 30 inches away from me. It's just in that sweet spot where it's not distance and it's not mid. I think if it was a typical computer, like if the screen was, 15 to 20 inches in front of me, the monitor, I think it'd be fine. I think part of the problem is my setup here. But David, welcome. No need to apologize. Just glad to have you here. How are you? So anyway, yes, that's what's going on. Notice I almost went to try to grab the microphone. And for those of you who missed the opening part of the stream, what I had said was, watching back some of the replays, I have a tendency, I noticed, to do this, like to try to tighten these knobs. But these knobs are super tight. Like they're not going, I'm not doing anything. I'm not even moving them. And then I have a tendency to do this. And again, I'm not moving that either. So I'm going to try this stream to refrain from doing that. So if you see me like I just did, go like this and then go, that's because I'm trying to be aware of it. So, hey, Michael Berg, thank you. Welcome to the live stream. Appreciate that. I've actually been a few pounds thinner within the last year and a half. The last year and a half, I did drop from January 2024 when I started my quest. I dropped from, I'm not ashamed to say my weight. I was 262 at my heaviest, and I dropped down to 221. But then the last 6 months, we had some things to work through. There was that period of time where I took some time off from YouTube, and I kind of went back to a little comfort food eating. So I'm up about 8 or 9 pounds. So I have been thinner, but thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take it. David says, I'm doing okay. It's very hot here in New York this week, so I had to get the air conditioning running. Yeah. I know we've been watching, like, especially on World News tonight, lots of bad storms and tornadoes up in that northeast area. Are you in the midst or track of that? Same goes out to you, Joe. Are you guys are going to be affected by these storms that they're talking about? Well, I appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, keep it up, man. Just stay to the task. Stay true to yourself. And I'm trying to get back on now to try to get back down. I'm finally in the mindset where I can, you got to be right. You got to have the right mindset up here. There are times where you could wave my favorite foods in front of me, and when I'm in that mindset, it won't faze me. And Joe can attest to that because I've been in that mindset in his presence. But then there, like the last 6 months when I've put on the 8 or 9 pounds, I have no willpower. So, but I'm back on that mindset. So I hope to take off, if not the entire 8 or 9, at least 5, and try to maintain that weight. David says, on Long Island, we get hurricanes, but rarely a tornado. Joe says, I lost 2 pounds this week, gave up dessert and limiting portions. Got to start somewhere. Yeah, good. And congratulations, Joe. And let's, I support you 100% in your quest. What I have been doing is I typically drink those protein shakes in the morning. Then for lunch, I make myself a fruit smoothie with chunks of pineapple, fresh pineapple. I chop up every couple of days a fresh pineapple. I put 3 chunks of the pineapple in. I put 6 or 7 nice sized blackberries, a handful of blueberries, half a banana, water, ice, and half of the actual mixing container is, then I add crushed, I have fresh lettuce fresh spinach that I buy, I freeze it, and then I crush it down, and I fill the rest of the container with the fresh spinach, frozen fresh spinach, and then I mix it all up, and it makes a great, believe it or not, even with the spinach, some of you might be thinking like, ew. No, even with the spinach, all those other fruit flavors balances it out, and it's actually pretty good tasting. But the reason I brought that up was because the morning shakes are packaged like protein shakes that my wife buys the cases in Costco. And Joe and Ashley had given me an idea. I buy vanilla, I buy strawberry, and I buy coffee flavored. I don't actually like the chocolate flavored, but when I do the vanilla, I add just a touch of diet orange soda based on Joe's and Ashley's suggestion, and it makes a creamsicle tasting healthy shake, and it's so delicious. And I happen to be one to like creamsicles. When I was younger, I did the creamsicles with the vodka. Obviously, now I'm not doing the vodka piece with it, but so that's pretty much it. I'm back in that mindset. So, well, anyway. Welcome all of you here. We got 9 people, so thank you very much for being here. And I hope everybody is doing well, enjoying the summer now that it's finally here. And I hope you got some nice things planned for the rest of the weekend. So, okay. As you saw in the thumbnail, I did get a pretty big box. It is from Grandstream. So Jeremy, your original comment that said more networking gear, ? I'm assuming that's what it is, coming from Grandstream. Exactly what's in there, I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to find that out together. I'm going to switch microphones so I can move this one out of the way because the box is pretty big. Felt like there were multiple items in there. So give me one sec. Check 1, 2, checking. Mic test 1, 2, check. Guys, how's the audio on that? Level wise, is it comparable to the studio mic as far as the levels? I'm looking at the meters and it seems like it's hitting in a similar spot. So let me know. I would appreciate that. Thank you, Jeremy. He says all good on the audio. Okay. All right. Oh boy. It is heavy. I got my handy dandy knife that Dennis Pillow from the channel years ago sent to me because he saw me opening up packages on a live stream with my keys. And he's like, don't gunk up your keys. And in the mail, I got the nice knife, and also he sent me an IP phone at that time as well, which I'm still using as my main driver. I believe it's a 21 no, not GHP. Well, whatever. It's the 2135, and it's still on my desk behind my monitor, because on my desk I have the 826 handheld wireless. The cords go to the same extension. So, all right, let me kind of put this on the ground and just lift things out. Bubble wrap. Okay, this is, according to the box, it says it is the Grandstream GWN 7062E. It is a Wi-Fi 6 router. Neat little device. Maybe we'll fire it up. There it is. On the back, you can see it's got 3 RJ45 ports. There's a sync button right next to the RJ45 ports right there. And I believe that's for syncing with other units, syncing mesh via mesh. It's got, looks like a reset button there. And the power port is USB-C, so that's cool. It's tiny, it's light, it's plastic. It's got ventilation on the back. Could be mounted like on a desk like that, or you can hook it on a wall like that, because it's got the areas to hook on a wall right here, and it's also got the feet, rubber feet for mounting on a desk. So that's cool. We'll fire that up maybe in the stream. I guess we'll be doing some videos on it as well. All right, so they included an RJ45 cable and the power supply. Cool. All right. So we got 3 more items in the, 3 more items in the box, 2 smaller items and a large item. So it looks like one of the items they sent me is a switch. What do we got here? The GWN 7670 WM, so that must be the wall version. Yep, the Wi-Fi 7 in-wall access point. Cool. So there it is. This is the GWN 7670 Wi-Fi 7 in-wall. On the back, not much going on. It's just got a 2.5 gig PoE port right there. If you could see it, depending on how I angle it. Very cool. We'll look at the specs on these too. I just want to get everything opened up, and I'm curious to fire up that Wi-Fi 6 router, because they say the interface, from what I've heard on the router, is different from the Grandstream, the normal Grandstream interfaces, which the normal Grandstream interface, it's pretty clean. So I'm curious to see what they did with that particular router and why just that particular router. Okay, and then they sent me also the GWN 7670, the regular round formatted access point. Very cool. Very cool. There it is in all its glory. And on the back, underneath, on the underside, it has two ports. One is they're both, actually, hold on. All right, so the PoE port is a 2.5 gig PoE port, and then there's just a regular RJ45 2.5 gig. So 2.5 gig ports on the back, obviously the PoE to power it up. And the bracket is a completely different design from the regular Grandstream access points. Yep. So there's the bracket. It's kind of similar to another well-known brand that we all love and used, and some people do use still. So there it is, locked on. So very cool. It's actually got a very similar form factor to that other well-known brand that we all love and some still use. In fact, let me grab one of the other Grandstream access points so I could hold them up side by side this way and you can see the change, the actual change in the form factor. Be right back. Okay, so here's the traditional GWN access point. So you could see side by side, obviously this one's smaller, but if I try to, hopefully it'll focus, there we go, maybe, there you go. You could see the difference in the original formatted versus the newer ones. So I do like the Wi-Fi 7 design better. The original format was always one of my pet peeves, especially because my installs are all residential based. So to put this in a residential home, which I'm doing, but and no one's complained yet, but I kind of just feel it's super bulky for a home. And then as far as I mentioned the mounting bracket, see if I can get this one off, yeah. Here's the new mounting bracket and here's the traditional mounting bracket, so you can see considerable size difference. So they've really redesigned the Wi-Fi 7 access points, so that's cool. Thank you, Grandstream, for sending this to me. I'm excited to do a couple of videos on these now that I have them in my hands. Very cool. Well, again, we'll look at the spec sheets on some of these things, but I just wanted to get to opening up everything and put this in here. For now, let me go to the comments for a sec. No comments other than careful about the shipping label being visible on the camera. Was it really that visible on the angle that it was on and the angle the camera was shooting? And if it was, oh well. If I have to worry about the folks that are watching my stream, well then, maybe I shouldn't be streaming. Oh boy. What do we have here? The Grandstream GWN 7822, and that is a layer 3 multi-gig network switch. I believe, well, we'll find out. I think it's a 24-port switch. There we go. Did I not cut that? I thought I cut that. Yeah, I did. I just didn't get the edge. Yep, the 7822P. Wow. Big switch. Deep wise, I mean. I guess I'm so used to the Unify switches not being too deep. Let me get this out of the way. Let's see what else they give you in the box. All right. Very cool. Well, I guess I have some gear to make some content on. That's cool. All right. So, starting with the sides, we have 2 fans on the side. Your intake on this side. On the back of the unit, you have your standard RPS power port 54.0V 5.56 amps rated. So that's cool. That's a nice feature. Your traditional power port underneath, that's to lock the power cord in place so it doesn't accidentally pull out. I guess it's in that other accessory package. Then you have a grounding lug. So let's take a look at the front. I got to look at the front first to see what it is before I tell you. All right, so it does have the GWN 7822 branding, the Grand Stream branding here. So it is 24 ports. So I'm assuming, so we have, these are 1 gig Ethernet. So there's 16 1 gig Ethernet ports. And then here, you probably can't see it, but there, well, maybe you can. There's like a aqua blue outline around these 8 ports. These are 2.5 gig. And I believe they're 802. They're BT. They're 803 rather. BT. Let's see. Yes, it's PoE++. Cool. So you got 8 PoE++ ports, 2.5, and then these are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 SFP plus ports. So cool. Up to 10 gig. You got console port here, reset, and then your power status, your RPS status, and your system status. So that's cool. So let's get the ASMR out of the way. Okay, very nice. I may have to replace the 24 port non-PoE switch in my rack with this guy. Let's see what comes in here. Probably the power cord, most likely. The grounding cable. Let's see what else. Yep. There's your grounding cable. Here's the piece, the power cord locking mechanism that snaps into the back. Traditional standard power cord, a bag of screws, and a bag of ears for rack mounting, and also feet with adhesive on the back to just, I guess, mount on a desk somewhere or on a shelf. So, cool. So we're going to be firing that up this week and checking it out. But I'm curious myself to fire up that new router. So there you go. The Grand Stream GWN 7822 videos coming soon. Nice. Speaking of Grand Stream gear, Jeremy, how'd you ever make out with that company with the gear for the library? I know we left off and we had talked about the GWN 7806P being the loud beast of a switch. And I had suggested to you that to ask them for the GWN 7816 instead of the 06. How'd you ever make out with that? I'm going to switch mics. Check. Check 1, 2. Okay. Gris says it was blurry, all good. The bokeh took care of it. Cool. All right. Let's go back to the GWN 7062. Anybody have any questions on the gear at this point as far as what they sent me? I'm excited. I got some gear to do some content on. So let's fire this guy up and see what it looks like. 8 concurrent viewers, 9 likes. I'll take it. Short power cord. Hope it reaches and I can keep it on the desk. There. I did see Mr. Tim Tech's video. He did a video on this recently, and from what he said in the video, of the 3 ports in the back, any one can be the WAN port. It's auto sensing, so whatever I plug in, if it's via DHCP, it'll pick it up as the WAN port. So we'll find out. We'll try that now. So I will plug into, from my network switch, the first port, and I need to take a picture of that. Did they give me a little tag? Let me take a picture of the password so that we can get logged in and take a look around. Make sure I could read it once it's blown up and not blurry. Perfect. Okay. Okay, let it fire up. The light on the front, you probably can't see it, but it's green, so it's booting up. And let me see if I can connect. I'm gonna try to connect to it via its Wi-Fi. We should see it broadcasting a default Wi-Fi once it's booted. So let's give it a sec. So everybody else, while I'm waiting for this, everybody's doing okay? Doing good? Anybody got any special plans for the weekend? Joe, did you get to fly the Avata in the stadium the other day? I've been thinking about that. I figured I would have gotten some footage from you. Let's see where we're at here. Okay, it's still booting. Am I missing something here? Hold on one second. Let me see. I guess it would help to read the startup guide. Connecting. Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. That's about all it says. You did not. You crashed it? Well, let's see. What does he say here? Yes, fluid. Yes, Flu. Pull up Instagram and go to 4AV now. You share public video. And then crashed it, but it was, oh my gosh. All right, I will do that in a sec. Remind me if I don't do it as the stream goes on. I would definitely want to do that before the end of the stream. And David says, in response to my question of what has everybody been up to, he's been upgrading the electrical wiring in the studio and the den, even ran a new sub panel to my garage so I can get more 20 amp outlets. Excellent. I didn't know you knew how to do that kind of work, David. We have that in common. All right, let's see what's going on with this guy. It's flashing. Let me log in to my GCC real quick. All right. Let me make sure it's online, because I should be able to just see the default Wi-Fi and attach to it that way. All right, give me one sec. I'm going to look at the client list. Let me see if that's it. There it is. Where'd it go? $95. Okay. It's not seeing the Wi-Fi. Let's see if I plug. Can I plug directly into it without? Can I plug right into it without? Well, I'm not streaming from my computer, so oh, there's the Wi-Fi. Okay, finally. It took a while to show. Okay. All right, let me pull up that password. All right, here's where I always mess up, right, with my fat fingers. So we're going to take it slow. Okay, let's see if we did it, and then I'll bring it up on screen. Okay, it says we're connected. All right, let me bring it up on the big screen. It won't let me resize it. How weird is that? All right, we'll do it this way then. I apologize, it won't let me resize it. So we'll just do it this way. Yeah, I don't have the option to blow it up or resize, so we're just going to do it this way. And the username is admin. And again, I got to get the password in there. Maybe once I get past this initial setup and log in, it'll let me. Let's see. As long as I put it in. Yeah. Why is it restricting me like this? Where'd it go? That's really weird. All right, well, let's try this. Aha. Now I got it. There we go. I don't know why it did that. It dropped off. And when I reconnected and I went to it didn't force me into that little window. It just, I don't know. That was weird. I've not seen that before. Let's make this decent size. There we go. All right. Well, let's get into this thing. Okay, one more time with the password. Bear with me, folks. Okay, not now. That's interesting. It did not prompt me. Well, it did on that last window, but it did not prompt me to change the password. But this is definitely a different interface. So there's the router information. The default LAN internal address is 80.1. That's typical for GrandStream. We'll see if we're on the updated version or not in a minute. Obviously, it doesn't recognize being connected. So we'll take a look at that in a second. It was supposedly DHCP. It did pull an address off my switch, but it doesn't see it as connected to the internet. That's interesting. It should. If it did pull an address and it's going through my network, it should see it. Anyway, in any event. All right, let's see. So we can give it a name. I'll just leave the Wi-Fi name as is because I'm connected through it. Band is 2.4 and 5, and it's just a dual band device. So you could do 2.4 and 5 combined or separate them out. Security mode, WPA and WPA2. WPA2 by default. We'll go with I'm actually going to leave it. Typically, I would use WPA2, WPA3, but I don't want to drop off during the live stream and deal with it. The password, and if we look at the port, this is the port is connected. So, yeah. Let's go. What do we have up here? Add new router. That's, I guess, if we wanted to mesh another router to it. Intelligent detection. Let's see what that is. Detect for device performance, network connectivity, and security, and more. Security device. All right, so that's cool. What's this? Quick setup. Okay, here's the wizard, which I thought it would take me through. So it picked up the Eastern time zone by default. It sees the WAN as connected, dynamic IP, which is correct. Obviously, if your ISP is one of these other either static, PPPoE, L2TP, or PPTP, which is kind of rare, but definitely static or PPPoE could be a possible option. There you have it. So then once it detects the port as WAN, the other two are automatically your LAN ports. So I'm not sure why it was saying in the main screen that it didn't detect it. And then you could decide whether or not you want to set it up for automatic upgrade or not. I typically don't, but maybe a home user would. So there we go. There's your summary. Am I still connected to it? Nope, it dropped it. So I guess it's changing. So once the network comes back, once it's provisioning and the network comes back, I'll be able to reconnect to it. So let's give that a chance. We'll go back to the comments while I'm waiting. So yeah, so from what I'm seeing so far, the interface is different from the actual standard traditional GrandStream interface, but it's not crazy different. It seems to be like it's geared more towards the home user. Like it looks to be like a little bit more of a simplified device. Here we go. We're back. I should be able to get back to it now once I reconnect. Okay. So yeah, we're back on. Let me go back to the, let's do this view. Let's do that view. Okay, so let's go through it. So we have a basic and advanced on the left side. So let's start with basic and see what we got. So we have a network map. And again, it still says internet not connected. That's really weird. Now I'm connected to it. So let's see if I can ping out. Yeah, so I'm getting a successful ping. So I guess that's a bug or a glitch. So I technically am connected. All right, so there's the network map. You got under traffic statistics, you can see your statistics here for today, the week, the month. You got app statistics as well. It's a clean interface, just like the standard, for sure. Obviously not much information here. It supports QoS, and it looks like it has seriously simplified the QoS features, but that's okay. You can do auto mode, game mode, video first, or web first, or you can just put in your own maximum upload and download speed. So, okay, pretty cool. It's disabled by default. Let's see, we got something called home care. So parent control beta. Okay, so it looks like you got parental controls. It's in beta. It's off by default. You can add, let's see. Please disable the client's random MAC. Okay, so you can control by MAC address. Let's see, security firewall, basic security defense. What the heck, let's enable it. Refresh. There's no issues. So, okay. And then here under cloud, you can connect it and link it to and manage it either through GDMS or GWN Manager. GDMS is the cloud networking. GWN Manager is the local application that you can install. I know on Linux for sure. I'm not sure if they've expanded out to the Mac or Windows platform just yet. So that's the basic. Let's see what we got under advanced. Actually, let's go back to the comments for a second. Let me switch back to me, and then we'll come back to this. All right, where are we? Joe says his Avada still flies. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. David says, I was a licensed electrician in my first job. Got me a raise picking that up when I worked on mainframe computers. I think it's expired, but I still do my own work. Ah, very cool. Still do my own work for myself, but I was never licensed, but I worked 8 years under an electrician during the summers when I was in college, and even my first couple of years teaching when the salaries weren't that great as a start out new teacher back then. So I supplemented my income during the summers, and I learned a lot in those 8 summers. So I feel like all I'm missing is the certification, but I do my own work. I don't do things for other people. But David says, being a member of local 3 electrical union in that job sped up the process. Yes. Grandstream should have you do paid training videos for them. Well, thank you, Joe. I'm not so sure about that, but I appreciate that. Who better than a former educator with $1 million aid video and audio gear? And video and audio gear, I guess is what you meant. Well, thank you. Let's see what David says. I have to run some errands for my CFO. Last in, first out. Sorry. No worries, David. Take care for now. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right. Let's go back to the interface. And then I guess we'll start wrapping this sucker up because I have been live for an hour and 9 minutes. So just over my sweet spot. Sorry. So here we are. So again, that's what we covered in the basic tab. So let's expand the advanced tab and take a look. So under overview, you have your overview page, your information here, a couple of charts. You got a diagnostics tab here. We're not going to click on that because we're connected to the internet. System info. Software version 1.0.1.7, we'll check on that. And if we need to update it, we'll update it. Internet settings. Yeah, so this is a much more extensive, similar menu to the standard router menus. Still simplified, but under internet settings, if we go to LAN settings, you could change the default address of the LAN here. We're just going to leave it for now. Here's your DHCP service. It's enabled. Again, you can manipulate this to your liking. Triple play. I'm not really 100% sure what this is. This is a feature that I've not seen before. Just a little bit that I heard of in Mr. Tim Tech's video the other day. It seems like if your internet service provider provides you other services like IPTV, VoIP, or all 3, internet, IPTV, and VoIP, I guess you would select triple play. Again, guys, I'm not 100% sure. I would have to look into that. And then here's your policy routes, and you can add your policy routes here. Under Wi-Fi settings, obviously, here's the default Wi-Fi. We can add additional Wi-Fis and configure it as, both or just one or the other. Nothing super different here. Let's get out of here. Under general settings, you could see your channel width information, channel information. It has dynamic optimization and channel. Here's your channel quality. So one-click optimization, that's pretty cool. Here's your ability to add mesh units, but we're not going to add any more because I don't have any more. And then here you can see the clients. So my Mac Studio is connected via Wi-Fi, and it's pulling an address of 80.163. And here's your real-time rate and current traffic. So, and the connect time. Traffic management, here's your traffic statistics. Today, this week, this month. Then now here's where it's digging in a lot more to the QoS. It's got the priority settings here, and you can manipulate this a little bit. Again, not as in-depth as what I've seen on the switches, but it's a little bit more in depth than up in the basic tab. Then you have App QoS for different gaming apps, entertainment apps. So that's pretty cool. And then you have your QoS rules here. So I'm going to have to dive into this a little bit more. Under NAT, here's your port forwarding. It supports DDNS. Let's see what providers it supports. Looks like it just supports 2 right now, no IP and Dyn DNS. All right, so we definitely need to expand on the list of service providers, but I guess for now, that's a start. UPnP off by default. DMZ off by default. Under security, you have your security firewall. So we enabled basic security defense under the basic settings. Let's go ahead and enable content security detection and say save. And then here's your defense statistics. I will populate here, I guess, as they're accumulated. Content control, you have URL filtering, URL classification filtering. So adult, mixed, sex education, aggressiveness. So there's a whole list of filtering options you can allow or block. You could pick one and block it. Right now they're all allowed. Under app filtering, again, as before, it's got the list of apps, list of games. So if you wanted to block a particular game, like for example, I don't know any of these games because I'm not a gamer, but you can come down here, and pick. Here's one that I've heard of that I don't play. Where is it? Fortnite. If I wanted to select Fortnite and block Fortnite, I can just come over and say block, and now Fortnite would be blocked. But again, for now, we're just going to leave everything at the default. So it's got some neat settings. Again, more geared for the home user, but cool. Block list. You can add your own block lists here by MAC address. You can actually, let's see. So you're blocking actual clients here. So you can select from the list of clients that's only seeing my Mac Studio, or you can add them manually. So that's cool. VPN. So it supports WireGuard, IPsec, OpenVPN, PPTP, and L2TP. So the same support for VPN as the traditional routers, and it has the wizards, which is very, very cool. Support for IPv6. It has a captive portal, which we're not going to go through everything. Under maintenance, upgrade, backup and restore, diagnostics, intelligent detection. So now that we have those other detections turned on, let's go ahead and see what it says. Excellent for security. Let's wait for them all to populate. Negative connectivity. Let's see. There we go. Excellent. And signal quality, excellent. Now I'm laughing because it still thinks the WAN is disconnected, but everything came in here as excellent. Supports TR069. Under system, you got your basic settings and access management, where we can, I'm sure, add users and set access control settings, etc. So we are on version 1.0.1.7. Let's run out to GrandStream's website and see if that's the latest. And then we'll take a look at the comments and start to wrap things up. All right. 7062E 101.10. So we're not on the latest. There's a beta, but I'm not sure what the beta is right now. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the release notes and see. We didn't look at any of the specs for the other devices too. I do want to do that quickly if you guys folks want to hang around a little bit. All right, so what file firmware information? Did it fix anything? Is it worth updating right now? Let's see. 1.0.1.10 fixed issue that the SSID encryption method cannot be set to open. Fix some internal issues. Well, what the heck? Let's install it and see if it fixes that error that it doesn't think it's connected to the internet. So I need to find it. So it probably went to my downloads folder. So give me a second to look. What was it called? Release. Let's go back one. Let me see, I'll do it again so I can see the name. Release GWN 7062. Okay. There we go. It's in my downloads folder, and there's the bin file. Okay. So let's go back and let's try to run this update manually. Actually, let's do this too. Let's try first to run off the URL and see if that works. And if not, we'll do it manually. So let's go back to maintenance. Let's go back to upgrade. Via manual. So it doesn't seem, did it hardwire the URL? Let's see if it can detect the new version automatically. The current version is up to date. Well, that's not true. And I don't see anywhere in here that allows me to put in the firmware URL. So that's interesting. Well, let's go ahead and upload the bin file. So we'll go to downloads. Where's the downloads folder? Come on. There we go. There it is. And upload. Let's see what happens. Am I going to brick this thing in front of you guys? While that's doing that, let's go back to the comments. All right, so David left. Let me switch back to me for a second. David's gone. He had a run. Don't forget to show the video. Okay, will do. Terrell. Hey, Terrell, welcome. Tony, I came in late. Did you go over pricing? Not yet. Thank you, Terrell. I wanted to and completely slipped my mind. I will go over pricing on all of those devices. My parents are looking for a new router. This particular router is pretty cheap. Packs a lot of punch for what it is. And hello, DJ Ware. I believe this router is somewhere around 50 bucks USD, but we will, once it reboots and lets me reconnect, I will let you know. Waiting for it to reboot so I could reconnect to it. In the meantime, let me see if I could look it up. So let me go to, let's go to here. Let's flip over to here and let's go to VoIP supply. Oops. And this is the GWN 7062E. I think it's about 50 bucks. Yeah, normally $49. They have it for $46.55 right here. So, yep, $46.55. So, relatively inexpensive. Here's a better look at the back if what I was showing you in my camera didn't do a job for you. And it's tiny. It's tiny. It's slightly bigger than an EdgeRouter XSFP. It's a little thicker, but it's also contoured. It tapers down towards the front, if you could see that. There. We get a better angle and try. There we go. So, yeah. So that's that. While I'm at it, while I'm waiting for this thing to reboot, and I'm at VoIP supply, let's look up the GWN 7670 Wi-Fi 7 AP. It's right here. Normally $119. They have it marked to $107 and $107.10. That's a really good price for that access point. Let's look at the wall mount version, the in-wall. Did I type something wrong? There it is. Coming soon. Okay, they don't have a list price for it, but I thought, if I'm not mistaken, it's somewhere around $100 to $105 retail. And then what's the last thing I have? Oh, the GWN 7822P. $340 for the GWN layer 3 7822P layer 3 multi-gig switch, PoE switch. The first 16 ports are 1 gig PoE. The last 8 ports are 2.5 gig ports with PoE++, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 SFP plus ports. It's got RPS power support on the back, so that's not a bad price, $340 for this switch. So let's see if I can get back connected to the actual GWN. Did it come back online? Yes, it did. There it is. I should be connected. Let's see. Let's do a refresh on this page. There we go. All right, we got to sign back in. I don't think I accidentally changed the password last time. Well, we're going to find out now, aren't we? Maybe I accidentally hit something and I'm going to lock myself out now because the default password may not work. I don't know, because I'm just surprised I didn't get the prompt to change the password. No, I'm in. Okay. So did I update? Let's go to overview. Let's go to system info. Yes, and it's successfully updated to 1.0.1.10. So that's interesting that under the maintenance tab under upgrade, I did not have the option to put in the actual firmware URL. But all right, everything kind of looks the same. It just said it fixed some internal fixes. Let's see if it thinks it's connected to the internet now. Hey, look at that. We have a green check mark. Woohoo! All right, so worth the upgrade. So there you have it, the GWN 7062E Wi-Fi 6 router, $49 or $46 USD retail, available at VoIPsupply.com or through me, but I'm not really quite sure I could do much better than that price, but it depends if you're comfortable dealing with somebody you know versus just an online retailer that you don't know. Shout me out. Be happy to help you out. All right, let's see. Still got 10 people here, 11 likes, so thank you very much. And you are welcome, Terrell. And I hope you're feeling well, Terrell. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Let's see. We got 126. We're almost at an hour and a half. Let me see if I could pull up that video Joe was talking about. So I got to go to, hold on, let me get out of here. I don't know if I can get signed in on my computer. Hold on. You said Insta, right? Let's see. Oh, look at that. I am in. All right. And you said search. What did you say to search AV? Let me go back to that comment and find it. I'm looking for your comment, Joe, that had what I should look for. AV. It still flies. Okay, for AV now. I couldn't remember the name of the company. All right, let me search for that real quick. If I find it, I'll bring it up. Okay, for AV now. Aha! Came right up. Let me bring this up on screen. Oh, hold on. I want to watch it first. And then I'll share it. I want to see the crash first. Is it long? Should I not watch the whole thing? Would I be taking away? Oh, you didn't crash it. Okay, hold on. Let me just bring it up on screen. Let me refresh it. Can I get this bigger? I thought you said you crashed it. I didn't see a crash. Let's see. Let me see if I can get it larger before I had it larger. There we go. Cool. Look at that. Nice job, Josephus. I love doing that. All right, so let's go back to the comments. Okay, no crash in the video. The way we were corresponding before, when you said you crashed it, it's on. I thought you, never mind. I thought you posted it with the crash. I want to see that if you have video of that. So, yeah. So, I know we didn't go over the actual individual specs of the switch and the access points, but hey, you know, videos will be coming on them, and I'm going to go over that information in those videos. So we've been going for, we did hit an hour and 30 minutes, so that's good, an hour and a half. I thought it would be my sweet spot. So listen, if anybody has any questions, now would be the time to ask. And if not, we'll call it a wrap for this week. And hopefully I plan to be here. Let's see, what is the date next Saturday? The 14th. Yeah, I plan to be here next Saturday, barring any other appointments or gigs or anything like that. So, yeah. So, all right. Well, it doesn't look like we have any other any other questions. Still got 10 people here and 12 likes. So I'm happy with that, an hour and a half in. So, on that note, I want to thank you all for being here, joining me for this Saturday afternoon, getting a look at what came in the box. I'm excited about it because I have some video content to make now. And we'll go from there. Again, if you need any GrandStream gear, give me a shout out. I'll be happy to help you out. And that's it for now, everyone. Just have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.